life on a whole. In all things be content, for this is the will of God concerning you. Think about the complaints that we have. Think about the frustrations, the heartache, the mental breakdowns. You know the things that drain you, whether it's a person, place, or thing. Of course, we've talked about that and the differences between us, plus the differences in us. So if it's a person, place, or thing, a noun, we frustrate ourselves over those things. We get upset over them. But have you ever really took a chance to pull yourself aside and think? And in that thought, what would you almost immediately come up with? That most of what I am frustrated over, I've put on my own plate. No, everything that you're frustrated over, you've put on your plate. You stop and you think about it. Think about it. Take a moment. Once you start to cycle through the hurt and the pain in your life, and I'm not belittling it, because this is a deep thought, and you begin to cycle through the things or the whatever noun, the person, place, or thing that was right or wrong in your life, and you start to go through it and you start to evaluate it. The pain is real. The hurt is real. But it was our reaction and some of those places that brought on some of the things that are now on our plate. Some of them are necessary because some of them are lessons in life. Some of them help us to appreciate the things that we deem pleasant and good. It is because those things, that the things that we declare are pleasantries or relaxing, those things are amplified and magnified in us, and they give us hope because that's where we anchor ourselves and want to get back to. So the things that we've gone through, they may, and they have, caused us sometimes to go a long way around getting through things, because some of them, we call them necessary evils. And if you look at them as such, you start to take out some of the things in your life that were put there to help you. Let me restate that. And I know it might be a game to everyone, but I'm saying it because I want you to hear it clearly. Some of the things that we call necessary evils, because we've given evil such a bad stigmatization, such a bad, and I guess tag or whatever we want to call it, connotation, that because we say a necessary evil, we declare it as being something bad. But it's not, because if you look in scripture, it tells you that God said he created good and evil. And if he created good and evil, sometimes you may deem it a necessary evil, and it's not even that. And I'm just gonna share you what thought I'm on, so you know where I'm at, so I'm not just off in la la land. What I'm talking about is sometimes the things that we frustrate ourselves over are the things we may have put on our own plate. For example, if I break a window and then the police come to my house, or my mom and dad have to pay for it, I did it. I didn't have to break that window. Or if I don't do my homework and then the teacher gets upset with me, how could I have stopped that from happening? I could have just did my homework. So I kind of put that on myself, and that's what I'm talking about. And I'm gonna share it in the podcast. I just was thinking about it upstairs. I was like, some of the things that we cry and complain over are things that we may have put on ourselves. And if we put it on ourselves, maybe we can take it off of ourselves. That's all I'm saying. So I was saving that thought. And that's what I do here, Huerte. And not even just from a biblical standpoint, but when you look at it, I've worked a lot of places, I guess. Not a lot of places, but I've always worked with the public. I've been in sales. And I tell you, I've seen a lot of worries and plights and issues in life. I've seen a lot of them, you know. We can dribble a little bit. I'm just gonna finish this one. But, you know, I've sold millions and millions of dollars in vehicles and furniture and, you know, music. I don't know anything that's out there. You know, I've sold a lot of things. Done very well. Blessed, been blessed, ups and downs and all. But I'll tell you one thing that was common in every area that I've been blessed and, you know, to work in. I mean, I've met a lot of people, and there was something always, you know, and I can talk about me. This is only me, but I've seen it a lot. I mean, I've seen a lot of different hurt and pain and plight. I've seen, and I don't want to say it fast, I've seen a lot of hurt. And I know you may say you have as well, but let's think about that real quick. And I want you, because this is the changing our reality. I want you to think about something. I'm not telling or saying to anyone to, I don't know, share like I've seen or partaken in more than you. Maybe you can appreciate it as we walk through it. Okay. Not only was I blessed to come from Connecticut, you know, Trenton, New Jersey, you know, through the 70s as a kid, a child, and then I'll say through the 80s as a kid, you know, a kid. But, you know, coming up in those areas, you've learned a lot of different aspects of life. And being the youngest of four, you know, it might not seem like a lot, but, you know, when you're the youngest of four, and, you know, as I learned as I got older, you know, your mom and your dad are doing the best they can. They did a real good job. But you're seeing life from a different light than your brother and your sisters, because they may have, you know, seen it from their point of view. But back to what I'm speaking on, it's, you know, having come through that and then moving to the Carolinas, well, not the Carolinas, Fayetteville, North Carolina, you know, in my second go round of my 11th grade year, and also my senior year, and, you know, the lifestyle and the life change and the things that happen, you know, I mean, maybe in time, if interested, we could talk about it. You know, I mean, there's a lot in there, a lot that, again, as we talked in the other podcast, you know, things you would remove if you could, but we don't judge the journey, but things that you know, you leave the same because you realize it's what you are, you know, and there's beauty in your scars. But, you know, going to the South and how we lived in the South and what was presented in the South and not being aware of it, again, being the youngest of four and, you know, pretty much a kid playing and, you know, pretty much turning into a, I guess, a cult. That's what we'll use. A young colt as got a little older, so didn't pay much attention, you know, other than survival, I guess, survival of the fittest. And the same dream that's always been painted in front of everyone, and that dream was the life from where we were from. It was either you were going to end up dead or in jail or on drugs. I mean, one of the three, so, you know, but all of them had the same end, you know, so thank God we made it out of there and all that. But you go into the South, you know, the bondage of the racism and you know, the histories of that. And, you know, being unfamiliar with it, man, you get engulfed in it. And I learned a lot about that as well. That's why I talk on podcasts, is because, you know, it's hard to, you know, talk to someone today who really can understand it unless you can bring it all into focus, you know. I mean, and it takes a lifetime to really bring it in focus. I mean, at either part of your life, you really don't understand it until you get a little older and you can have, you know, you've set enough memorials and enough, I guess, I don't know, lookout points that you can remember as much as you can, you know, as the way it came up, so you can tell the story. But going through it all and then finally, you know, selling in the South, you know, being a black man in the South, you know, in the, 99, the turn of the century, you know, you learn you got to work extra harder. You know, you got to push yourself harder because most of your clientele is Southern and most of your clientele is conservative and most of your clientele is very, very God-fearing. So you want to make sure that you're doing everything to your ability to satisfy that customer. So the stakes are higher, and also the demand is higher, and also the pressure is a lot higher, to carry yourself in the top, echelon, which it don't mount up to that. It's really a pipe dream. But when you look at it, you worked hard and then you carried yourself. You were also a witness, unto the Lord. So you wanted to make sure that you carried yourself even further. Plus you were a husband and a father, so you carried yourself even more. So you just think about that's during those times. And, so we carried ourselves you've met a lot of people in that. People begin to like you, and people begin to recommend you and refer you, especially, whatever accolades came along with trophies and plaques and newspaper writings, it didn't matter. But even with that, it was like, I'm helping y'all get what you want. It's really not about me. But that's because as you learn through life, it's like you see the plight of people, man. You fill out their credit application and they've been working on a job for 10, 15, or 20 years and their income does not meet their sacrifice. It's sad. It's like, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. And you learned. You learned from those people because you built conversations. Some of you built lasting relationships with, as business relationships, clients and the clientele. That was out there. So you did your best because word of mouth was your bread and butter. It was your lifeline. So you had to present yourself and carry yourself such a way that ownership was proud of you and also management was proud of you, and you did it. But along the way, you recognized a lot of hurt and pain. And it always keeps going back to Solomon. How did you say it was all vexation and vanity and vain and vexation of spirit? You see, it's a waste in most instances to, be upset over simple things, in life. Because, people have their own plights that they are going through. Even though they may present this image that everything is okay, or they present this image that nobody's bothered them or they're perfect, that image is a shell. But people have issues. So let's be more compassionate toward people. Let's be more merciful. Let's be more loving. More respectful of one another. More supportive of one another. Building community once again versus always complaining. And in whatsoever state you find yourself, be content, for this is the will of God concerning you. All right, that's that podcast. I'm making my grandson.
No weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. Say no weapon plans they have said will not succeed. Hey, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. No way. It won't work. It won't work. Formed against me shall prosper. And no way, no way. It won't work. For I know God will do what He said He's gonna do. He will stand by His word. He will come through, yeah. God will do what He said He's gonna do. Stand by His word, by His word. No way. High formed shall prosper. No way, no way. Telling you, formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. Don't be afraid of the arrows or the snares set by your enemies. If you believe it, say you. Yeah, there just ain't one.
There just ain't one.
There just ain't one.
There just ain't one weapon, no.
Although they've said a snare, a trap, I want you to know it won't work. Ooh, no, no, no.
There just ain't one.